Sorry for the break. We went on a break here. By God's grace, we are back again. On my Ghana Yemenot. The show is Mpɔtam morning show with PAPALAW Perfect. We streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. 8 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. We have technical issues. By God's grace, we've been able to sort it out, and we are back online to do justice to this wonderful show. Show produced by GH, my co-host David Santos. Now, our editorials for today. About 70% of cases thrown out of court due to bad lawyering. Chief Justice Gertrude Arabai Sabatokonu, the Chief Justice, her ladyship Gertrude Tokonu, says about 70% of cases that are thrown out of court are as a result of bad lawyering. According to her, the legal profession is granular in nature and therefore demands a high level of diligence, competence, and integrity. She says the failure on the part of lawyers to follow rules of procedure and present the right weight of evidence and course of action has deprived many clients of justice. She believes that diligence and competence are necessary for good ethical conduct. Speaking at the 7th annual legal ethics training program organized by the African Center for Law and Ethics in collaboration with the Gimpa Faculty of Law, her ladyship Gertrude Arabai Saba Tokonu said failure on the part of lawyers to comply with ethical conduct has cost many people their properties, businesses, and entire livelihoods. Again, some nations have also lost great assets due to bad lawyering. She admonished law students and lawyers to be ethical in order to advance the judicial delivery system. The Chief Justice opined that legal ethics is a shared responsibility by lawyers, judges, court registrars, bailiffs, Parliament, and the executive arm of government. She charged lawyers to be diligent and follow procedures rather than jumping from one media house to the other anytime they lose cases due to their own incompetence and lack of diligence. Dean of the Gimpa Faculty of Law and founder of the African Center for Law and Ethics, Dr. Ajiman-Budu, added that the Gimpa Faculty of Law is introducing a course in law and ethics in the next academic year to imbibe ethical behavior in law students. The legal ethics training program is aimed at introducing law students to the fundamental principles and rules governing professional, legal, and judicial practice. During this program, students will delve into topics that are vital for their future careers, including a practical introduction to the Code of Ethics of the Ghana Bar Association and other jurisdictions, the International Bar Association's International Code of Ethics, and a comparative examination of legal ethics regulation and enforcement in Ghana and other African countries, Dr. Ajiman-Budu added. Ashanti region, patients seek health care elsewhere as physician assistants continue strike. Patients visiting health centers in the Ashanti region to seek health care are being directed to major hospitals following the ongoing strike by members of the Ghana Physician Assistant Association. City news checks as some health centers indicate nurses are directing patients to nearby hospitals due to the absence of physician assistants who are manning the facilities. Members of the Ghana Physicians Association, Assistants Association are on strike to protest their displeasure towards a proposed legislation that will see them being supervised by a medical doctor. The ongoing strike is affecting healthcare delivery at health centers located on the outskirts of the city, and patients with common ailments are forced to visit major hospitals to seek medical care. Coalition of aggrieved customers of Men's Gold calls for Namuan's arrest. The coalition of aggrieved customers of Men's Gold is calling on the government to arrest the chief executive officer of the defunct gold dealership company, Men's Gold, Nana Pia Mensah, otherwise known as Nana One. The group is also urging its members to desist from engaging Nana One on any payment terms, as he can best be compared to internet fraudsters. The concerns by the group come on the back of a statement issued by the management of Men's Gold indicating that it has successfully completed the transaction validation process, assuring to make payment to its customers soon. Speaking to City News, the spokesperson of the group, Frederick Forsen, indicated that the state must take swift action against Nana Apia Mensah. Nobody should engage him, and that is what we are saying because of that document he brought out. What we want the government to do is to arrest him. What is contained in that document is simply the language of scammers, and we want the government to arrest him. The defunct gold trading company issued a statement over the weekend assuring to make payments to its customers, saying it has completed the transaction validation process of its customers and was ready to effect payment soon. Following the gold trading transactions claims, supporting documents, collection and vetting exercise initiated, we are happy to announce that validation has successfully been completed, Men's Gold said in its statement. But the spokesperson of the aggrieved customers furiously dismissed the statement and called for Mr. Pierce's arrest. Government revises GDP growth to 1.5 in 2023. Government has revised the real growth domestic product of the country to 1.5% in 2023 from the earlier 2.8%. This indicates that most sectors and subsectors of the economy will struggle to expand because of the fiscal consolidation measures as captured in the International Monetary Fund (IMF) document announcing this in the mid-year budget review. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta also said non-oil real GDP growth rate is estimated at 1.5%, down from the earlier forecast of 3.0%. He said the downward revision of the projected growth for 2023 is an indication of a broad slowdown in the three sectors of the economy as a result of factors such as the fiscal consolidation plan and difficult global conditions. Overall GDP growth is, however, projected to rebound to 2.8%, 4.7%, and 4.9% in 2024, 2025, 2026, respectively. This, Mr. Ofori-Atta said, is a result of implementation of growth-oriented and structural transformation strategies in the PCPEC. We have, however, been charged in the PCPEC to develop an enhanced growth strategy supported by crowding in of private, domestic, and foreign investment to further boost growth. We are confident of a private sector outlook to boost growth and jobs, he added. Economy expanded by 4.2% in Q1 2023. Ghana's economy beat most analysts' forecasts, expanding by 4.2% in the first quarter 2023. The Ghana Statistical Service has disclosed. This is far higher than the 3.1% recorded during the same period in 2022. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, Public Administration, Defense and Social Security 37.6%, Health and Social Work 3.6%, Education 2.0%, and Information and Communication 18.9% drove the growth rate. The services sector recorded the highest growth rate of 10.1%, followed by the agriculture sector with a growth of 4.8%. However, industry contracted by 3.2%. Seven subsectors contracted in Q1 of 2023. There are water supply, sewage, waste management and remediation activities 6.4%, construction 6.0%, wholesale and retail trade repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles 5.3%, fishing 3.3%, mining and quarrying 2.9%, manufacturing 2.5%, and hotels and restaurants 0.2%. 1.2 million visitors expected in 2023. 150,000 jobs to be created in tourism sector. Ofori-Atta. Government has announced plans to work closely with the private sector to improve key tourist sites and events as part of the Beyond the Year of Return initiative. According to the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, government has made considerable progress towards achieving 1.2 million visitors for 2023 with 150,000 jobs along the value chain and 2 million foreign visitors and 1.5 million in domestic tourism by 2025. Presenting the 2023 mid-year budget review, Mr. Ofori-Atta said the move is part of the measures to make tourism attractive in the country and generate more revenue for the country. Saglimi Housing Saga Trial of Collins Dauda others to begin on November 9th, 2023. And Accra High Court will commence fully the trial of Alhaji Collins Dauda, former Minister of Works and Resources, Works and Housing, and 4 others from November 9th, 2023. After the legal vacation, the parties have agreed on 2 days, which are Thursdays and Fridays of every week. The court presided over by Justice Ernesto Usudapa, Justice of the Court of Appeal, sitting as an additional High Court judge, having concluded on all part of the pre-trial process, and Case Management Conference ordered the state to open its case on the agreed date. Other accused persons are Dr. Kwaku Mensah, also a former Minister of Water, Resources, Works and Housing, Alhaji Ziblim Yakubu, a former Chief Director, Mr. Andrews Klokakanas, Executive Chairman of Constructora OAS Ghana Limited, 4th accused, Novi Tete Angelo, Chief Executive Officer and owner of Ridge Management Solutions and Ghana Limited, 5th accused. They are standing trial over the Saglimi affordable housing project and are facing 70 charges. They are said to have willfully caused financial loss to the state over the $200 million sum approved for the project. They have all pleaded not guilty and have been granted bail. Group demands President expedite action on conduct of public officers bill. Advocate for Christ Ghana has urged President AKUFO-ADDO to prioritize the swift enactment of the draft Conduct of Public Officers Bill 2022. The Biblical Christian Values Organization says it strongly believes that the legislation is essential for promoting accountability and integrity within public institutions. The draft Conduct of Public Officers Bill 2022, when passed into law, will represent a significant step towards combating corruption and ensuring responsible conduct among public officers. A statement it issued on July 30th, 2023 said, this legislation aims to establish clear ethical standards, provide guidelines for conduct of public officers, and establish mechanisms for the enforcement of these standards. It is crucial that our leaders recognize the importance of providing the necessary legal framework to hold public officers accountable for the actions. The press release stated. According to the group, the bill will also introduce substantial penalties for misconduct or breaches of public trust. And hence, they believe delaying the enactment of this legislation only perpetuates a culture of impunity and undermine public trust in our institutions. Aside from urging the government to prioritize the bill, the group also called upon civil society organizations and the media to join hands in demanding action. We believe that collective voices and the united front will exert pressure on our leaders and foster a sense of urgency in bringing this vital legislation to fruition. We call upon civil society organizations and the media to collaborate closely and engage in public discourse and demand prompt action, it indicated. Next, NDC government will commit resources toward building robust ICT infrastructure. Mahama. Former President and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has promised that the next NDC government will commit billions of dollars to invest in technology infrastructure to bring the needed development and advancement in the country. The former president underscored the importance of technology, the development of economies across the world today. Speaking at the graduation ceremony of academic City University College. The former president underscored the need for the country's education system to be revolutionized to meet the demands of the 21st century. The 21st century thrives on the digital revolution, in which innovation and originality are the propelling forces of progress, and to thrive in this era, our educational system must evolve to equip the next generation with critical thinking, skills, creativity, and innovation to solve problems. And this is why the NDC, in her quest to build Ghana, seeks to partner with the private sector to invest billions of dollars on an integrated ICT infrastructure system, including onshore and offshore superhighways and electronic applications. The investment will leverage 5G technology to propel communication, commerce, civil liberties, and individual expressions while supporting other national priorities, Mr. Mahama added. The end of our editorials for today. Stick and stay right here in Mpɔtam Morning Show. 26 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT. In the studios of PAPALAW Radio, we stream it live on www.modernghana.com, online, radiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the message on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Mpɔtam Morning Show. So here we educate, we inform, and above all we entertain. We have Dr. Brefo Apau Leslie of Standards Clinic in AKUFO-ADDO here with us to educate us on this particular topic, a topic that is so dear to my heart: erectile dysfunction. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, boss. How are you?
I'm bouncing well by God's grace.
Thank God.
And yourself and the family?
I'm good. Everyone is fine.
I hope your patients are also doing well.
Yes, they're also fine.
Anytime I'm in AKUFO-ADDO, I have to pass by one of these days.
You have to try your best, please.
Doc, what are we treating today? Erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction.
And so what is
erectile dysfunction?
Erectile dysfunction.
Okay. Now, when we talk about erectile dysfunction, it is the persistent inability of a man to achieve an erection.
Today, a lot of men are listening, checking online.
The persistent inability of a man to achieve an erection, which is adequate in terms of hardness and duration for satisfactory sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Now, so long as a man can achieve a hard enough erection to permit vaginal penetration with a long enough...
I like the fact that you use the word vaginal penetration, not yes, any other penetration.
Of course.
I'm speaking in parables.
Yes, I understand.
The wise will understand.
So long as a man can achieve a hard enough erection for to permit vaginal penetration with a long enough staying power to perform the sexual act till ejaculation is attained, he is judged to be potent.
Doc, sorry to interject. When we say ejaculation, most people don't really understand. At what point can one say that I have my ejaculation? And then the women too will say I have not reached my orgasm. Those can you throw light on these two terminologies so that we settle the dichotomy once and for all?
Okay. Ejaculation is the release of semen or the release of sperm. You get it? So when you talk about when we talk about erection is the rising of the penis, the hardening of the penis.
That's right.
For sexual intercourse. You get it? And ejaculation is the release of the semen or the sperm. Let me put it that way for people.
So it can even be 1 second, 20 seconds, and whatever. At the end of the day, there's ejaculation once there's a release of the sperm.
Once there is hardness and a duration for satisfactory sexual intercourse, so long as a man can achieve hardness and also to permit vaginal penetration with a long-standing power till ejaculation is achieved, the person is judged to be potent.
Okay.
You get it? When we talk about orgasm, it's what usually happens when you reach the height of sexual arousal. So orgasm is what happens when one reaches the height of sexual arousal. That's orgasm. So in females, that is it.
Okay.
So, and orgasm in men too can arise from, let's say, ejaculation.
Okay.
Please do get a point.
Okay.
Yes.
So those words can be used interchangeably, both for male and female
for men,
purposes.
I think ejaculation is best for men.
Okay.
And orgasm is for women. Yes.
All right.
Now, the number of rounds per session is irrelevant when it comes to the erectile dysfunction.
That's right.
So if you are able to go for, as you say, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, someone can go 1 hour, 2 hours, it's not relevant. The most important thing is you have this long enough staying power to perform the sexual act till ejaculation is attained. That's it. So if you have this, you are potent.
Okay. So, Doc, what about those who go for, so to speak, for lack of better word, the first round, and they struggle to bounce back again? There's no hardness again, and they'll be forcing and doing almost everything to bring it back, and it doesn't come back. But the first is always strong.
Yes. All right. So the thing is, it's also part of it. You see. Yes, but the causes of erectile dysfunction, we have so many causes. So some of the causes also play a role in what you said. You get my point? So once you've been able to go for the first round, you don't have this erectile dysfunction. But maybe your potency has gone down. Let me please, do you understand the point?
That's right.
Yes, so that is it.
All right.
So the condition, this erectile dysfunction, can be classified as organic, psychological, or mixed in terms of etiology. So we have those with the primary. When you talk about primary erectile dysfunction, this group of people have never been able to attain or maintain an erection for satisfactory sexual intercourse. They have never. So that is primary erectile dysfunction. And we have the secondary erectile dysfunction, where impotence occurs in men who have previously had satisfactory sexual performance or sexual intercourse. Please do get a point. So previously they had it. They were having this sexual intercourse. They were able to have this power, or they were able to have the erection and have the sexual intercourse. But now they don't have. So we have two types of erectile dysfunction. You have the primary erectile dysfunction and the secondary erectile dysfunction.
All right, so
that is something small about erectile dysfunction.
Okay, so Doc, let's look at the causes of erectile dysfunction.
Okay, thank you for the question. The causes of erectile dysfunction, I'll classify them into three main groups. Into two.
Okay.
I'll go for the psychogenic causes and the organic causes, as I said earlier. Now, when we talk about psychogenic causes, certain things like anxiety. So when someone is anxious, practical example, a man told me that he has a wife and wants a side chick. Whenever he goes closer to the wife, whenever he wants to have sexual intercourse with the wife, everything is correct. But when he goes closer to the side chick, the thing can rise up.
That's right.
So is it that the wife has cursed him or not? I was telling you, no, you are anxious.
Spirituality. That's right.
Guilty conscience plays a role.
That's right.
Once you are cheating on your wife, be like, oh, I'm cheating on my wife. And so psychologically,
That's right.
down. So it also plays a role. So anxiety can play a role in erectile dysfunction. Also, depression. When someone is depressed, if you know someone pressures you, and you that moment try to have sexual intercourse, there will be erectile dysfunction. Because it's more of a psychological thing. It's with the brain. So once the brain is traumatized, you perform abysmally. You usually get the point. So depression also plays a role in erectile dysfunction. Now we have stress. That is the commonest cause. Stress. So if you stress yourself too much, let's say during the day you'll be moving up and down, going here and there, and doing a whole lot of things, and you go home tired, and your wife tries to have sexual intercourse, you might not perform. So stress plays a role in erectile dysfunction.
That's how some men will be running away from lovemaking.
Of course.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm tired. Oh, leave me.
Of course, because if they go, they might disgrace themselves.
That's right.
So they have to dodge. They have to dodge. We have marital conflict. Marital conflict. If you have an issue with your wife and you are not trashing it out, it's within you, and he's the same person you're going to have sexual intercourse with. You will not have the edge.
That's right.
So you will not be able to achieve an erection for vaginal penetration, and you are going to suffer from this erectile dysfunction. It's psychological. You get it? You analogize to someone. How are you going to have sexual intercourse with a person? So psychologically, you'll be down, and it's going to affect you. Now we have the organic causes of erectile dysfunction. So some of these organic causes, we have the vasculogenic causes. When we talk about vasculogenic causes, we have what they call occlusion, atrial insufficiency or occlusion. This comes as a result of, you see, the penis is made up of veins. That's very veins on it. So if they are occluded, the blood flow to the penis is the blood that makes the penis hard. So if there's an occlusion within the veins, it will stop blood from flowing to the penis, and thereby there will not be any erection. So if there is vasculogenic causes, it can result in erectile dysfunction. We have neurogenic causes. We have the peripheral neuropathy, the spinal cord lesions. If you have these things, it can also result in erectile dysfunction.
You mean the spinal cord?
Yes, please. Okay. Spinal cord lesions. Because you see, the brain connects with the spinal cord. So if the spinal cord has a lesion, you see, you can't get connection to the brain. And it's the brain that will make blood
trigger the whole thing. Okay.
Yes. And if it happens that way, there is going to be a problem. We have the traumatic causes. And the traumatic causes, we have the pelvic fracture. If someone has an accident and he has this fracture of the pelvic, it can disrupt the anatomy of the body, and the person can have erectile dysfunction. We have endocrine causes, certain diseases like, let's say, diabetes mellitus.
Okay.
When someone has diabetes mellitus, it brings the person's power down, the potency down. So the person can get erectile dysfunction from that. So disease like hypogonadism, we have the hyperprolactinemia, pituitary failure, adrenal and thyroid disorders. Adrenal and thyroid disorders can all cause erectile dysfunction. Now we have certain drugs too. Some drugs like antihypertensive drugs. Antihypertensive drugs can also cause erectile dysfunction. We have antidepressant drugs. Antidepressant drugs can also cause erectile dysfunction. This depression is killing people. The cause itself, depression is part.
That's right.
Treating the cause too can also give you erectile dysfunction.
I'm telling you.
So depression is
too trouble.
And the drugs to treat the depression for it to resolve, so that you don't get erectile dysfunction.
Right.
The drug to also causes erectile dysfunction, so it's not easy. Two troubles, one goal. So we have certain operation, like certain surgeries that you do that can result in erectile dysfunction. So post-operative causes, we have what we call the radical prostatectomy. That is operation that involves the prostate, the removal of the prostate. We have the cystectomy. We have something like abdominal perineal insertion. So these causes, abdominal causes can all causes what we call erectile dysfunction. We have inflammation. Inflammation causes erectile dysfunction. Inflammation of the prostate. So if the prostate is inflamed, you can get erectile dysfunction. Urethritis can also give you erectile dysfunction. So we have other diseases like the heart failure, renal failure, liver failure, pulmonary insufficiency. All these diseases can cause erectile dysfunction. Thank you. So these are predominantly the causes, some of the causes of erectile dysfunction in men. Thank you.
All right. So, Doc, let's look at the symptoms. What are the symptoms?
All right. The symptoms is clear for erectile dysfunction is clear. So if there is inability to achieve an erection in a man, so inability to achieve an erection is a symptom of erectile dysfunction. Another one is inability to sustain an erection. So you've had an erection although, but you cannot sustain the erection. So that is erectile dysfunction. Another symptom is reduced sexual pleasure. Reduced. At times you don't have the urge to even indulge in sexual intercourse at all. So these are some of the symptoms of erectile dysfunction.
Doc, so under normal circumstances, if I understand you, after sex, after ejaculation as a man, your penis should come back to normal, right?
Yes, please.
All right. The hardness can just disappear.
Yes.
What about those who, after ejaculation, they still have their...
they are present. They are sick.
Doc, you are making me laugh.
It's also a disease on
it's still on. The hardness is still there. What's the problem with those people?
That's their prison. It's also a disease on its own. We'll treat that.
Okay.
We'll treat that.
I like that. I'm interested in that because somebody in the studio is so much happy when I mention this, and I'm wondering why. Maybe
tell the person to call me.
Oh, I hear. All right, so Doc will be expecting your call. To whom it may concern.
Yes, to whom it may concern.
That's right. All right. So, Doc, let's look at the investigation. How do you investigate erectile dysfunction?
Okay, normally we do the full blood count and the sickling status.
Okay.
You full blood count and the sickling status. Sickling status because of what you said. Right now, what you said, the peer prison. People with the sickle cell or the sickle cell traits have been experiencing what you just informed me. So we do the full blood count and the sickling status. So if you are positive or you have it, then we treat the peer prison for you. That is it. Then we can do the lipid profile to also check. Because at times obesity can also reduce your edge to have sexual intercourse, or it can also affect your performance. So that one too is there. So we do the lipid profile because cholesterol can also alter those things. We do the urinalysis, the urine routine examination or the urine culture to rule out for other infections because other infections or bacterial infection can also cause these erectile dysfunction. So you do the fasting blood glucose for diabetes. As I said, diabetes can also cause erectile dysfunction. So we do the fasting blood glucose. Then we do the serum prolactin. We do the serum testosterone. So these are normally the lab investigation we do for erectile dysfunction.
All right, Doc. Finally, is erectile dysfunction manageable? If yes, how do we manage this?
Thank you. Now, one thing I would say is erectile dysfunction may be the first warning sign of underlying cardiovascular disease. You get it? So if you're a man and you see or you experience erectile dysfunction for the first time, it's a warning sign. So you have to go to the hospital for treatment. Now, The way by which you can manage it is two ways: non-pharmacological and pharmacological. So with the non-pharmacological, so patients should avoid excessive alcohol consumption. That's the first point. Excessive alcohol consumption, cigarette smoking, recreational drug abuse, and excessive weight gain. So these are things that can affect you as a man. So if you stop these things, it can help you. As I was saying, gaining weight can give this, and they can let you be weak in bed. So you have to reduce in weight. You have to get your normal weight back. That's it. We have the psychosexual counseling. We have what they call psychosexual counseling. If you have issue with your wife, you have to see the counselors to talk to you. If you are anxious about something, you have to see them to talk about it. If you are depressed, you have to see them to talk about that. So you have the psychosexual counseling. Now, pharmacologically, we have drugs that we give. In one way or the other, I can't mention these drugs here. You get, because people can abuse the drugs. Please do understand.
Yeah.
When it comes to erectile dysfunction, people are always alleged to get advice and buy them. At times, it's not just the drug. Yes, counseling can help. Counseling can help you. So we have to, because we have drugs that we give. So with the drug, with the pharmacological treatment should be directed at underlying cause. So there should be a change or discontinuation of medication if we found to be the cause. So if the cause is, let's say, stress, you don't have to be giving drugs for stress. You don't have to be giving the drug for erectile dysfunction if the cause is stress. So we have to solve the stress itself, then the person can come back to normal. Please, you get it?
Yes, sir.
So it's not like anything. No, you have to investigate and know the cause. So we have drugs that we give for erectile dysfunction. So you go to the hospital, we evaluate you, then we know if we should give you drugs or not. Thank you.
Doc, thank you too. Thank you for your precious time with us on radio. We are so grateful.
You're welcome.
All right, so that was Dr. Brefo Apau Leslie of Standards Clinic educating us on erectile dysfunction. Thank you, Doc. All right, on my be here for David Santos,
Attorney General.
Now, you can say mid-year review budget.
Yeah.
Oh dear, Benny.
Mimi dear Benny. Oh, Attorney.
So, Obiane, dear Betty for ye. Almost as a for tante, so I'm in the what's a minimum say, Otio Musufra went ye.
Debbie.
Or say, cousin, dear, or Betty.
I'll put their minty, say.
Said the microphone bu afuno
kra but they
also me na me dem ho na makoto me chacha na mawini wo aban wo fa ho esi hi se chinchi na obeje wo chefa
obeji
yes aban we die
enye se we wini be o
unim ni din
ozi
ese aban we mi se unim ni din
ni din ni de dos bebre ese ye boss esi a
friend chimpe adia na me pekra ne se me no be chimpe no abeto me no aduane a me pepa wo si chimpe ne me ya chemupe
aw
ba me minya wo de papa me minya wa ewurade edu baby no mo se me was spirit
edu zu de umpe
because time a wo benya aduane no kwan a wo be fa so e de ehu se me ba no hu obohu anu mapie ho
saman
etedu baby me hu se guy na me ne ye na ne buafu da bia no wamuna ba mfa me ho wamuna chempe no ye di aduane ne so no wamuna e hye no me hu se hye ne pa ba
wo di ba
me se me who says sheno batoboa. Me ya nya power bia. Onu aduane ameti wo me fie.
Radi nyakobo. Hey.
Experience, be yes. Enti me hwe wa na ma pie ho. Boy ni say,
"Hey,
Kobi, e den we pie azarab so. Enye hwe meti say wonya aduane nti na mba.
Enti e bona ye
oh ni buafu but me di. Hwe, me bufu kura na me di.
Hey.
Eti beti fo ni buafu papa abanwe no o say ubufu ubufu obejini sika
tax ni de obeyi na wakotwa nso na when deal
oza
na say tax na tax omo amuwo yi market no uko na ya ntowi kra tax ndi e ba weji
unya di shame na
say ndi e fa obi ehun wanya pie wo market wonu die say tax die ombeji enti wakotwa na ediwa what your tax ye deals na udi a aban say enu die ye ba jubilate na ye nyina ye but so far I tell you there's nothing new in the media budget because all that we have been listening to, that's the same thing that the finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta is saying the media budget. I told you earlier that what I'm expecting from the media budget is the $600 million US dollars IMF. Yes.
Tranche no.
Yes.
Oh my, by now come dear. Oro ni mabawe.
Nanka.
Omanuma bi.
Hey.
Mahama say.
Somebody be call no for them.
Mahama say or the Ghana's abro say 1% kwa kibe kunu. And net the yanomon and namo. So do you see MPP on their way into opposition?
No, with that.
Hey, looking at this budget, need your money equal.
Attorney, you know.
Sometimes the handwriting is clear on the wall.
It's clear, but it's not going to be.
You don't
easy.
need a prophet to tell you, or you don't need rocket science.
Yeah,
to know this.
Fear delegate and also still at the whole.
Oh, but Ghana, for when Ghanaians are crying,
yes,
for change, you could feel it, but. ABR slogan nearing in a chassis. Slogan in my say we need change, we need change. Okay. Change is coming.
Yes.
Minyantity sa slogan nearing now. But then Chemi sure say.
Yeah, Beba. But I tell you, you know, this election, the general election, come 2024, it's not going to be easy. We still have Sebi to say hypocrites among us. Adenia dinkra or ukra on the onim so. Ye wuna ye ko baby fufro anasa ye ko hospital ye ko jayaresano on almost de on person. And so we still have those people among us. And so even though the writings on the wall is very clear, it's not going to be easy because looking at the
dynamics.
And now too, it can be only we can only dictate the clear writings on the wall when this election is being done, and we know the person leading the National Democratic Congress Party, which is the MPP party. Now we don't know.
Patriotic.
Yeah, the new patriotic party. Now we don't know. You know, Honorable Dela said something earlier.
No, listen.
Okay.
If this government, especially Bawumia,
okay,
who claims he's a strategist,
yes,
economic wizkid, and the likes, economic messiah, if he has any new vision, he should give it to AKUFO-ADDO.
Oh, but I think maybe I do it.
I said he should give it to him.
Nothing can be done right now.
Turn the economy around.
I think nothing can be done right now. Look,
something
look
can
at
be done.
Look at the time frame.
Something can be done.
Almost 7 years old, attending, and 7 years there's nothing. They couldn't do anything better, and we are left with just maybe a month.
You are alluding to the fact that we can't use these budget and the happenings to justify whether the NPP is going into opposition.
Yeah,
you have taken a stand.
That is what I'm saying.
I am of the view that I can see the MPP on their way into opposition. Me, I have followed politics for a very long time, and I can tell you that MPP is gradually entering into opposition.
But Anthony,
you hold on.
Okay.
Honorable Dela Edem is on the line. He's a member of the NDC's communication team. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, PAPALAW.
How are you doing?
By grace, I'm doing fine.
We thank God. I hope the family is also bouncing well.
We are doing fine, but the cost of living is too high.
I'm telling you.
If the children are going to school now, if you give 10 cedis to the child, it's an insult. Because transportation alone takes up that money. So if you are giving 10 cedis, 15 cedis, you are giving to a child. And so if you have 2 children, you are in trouble.
I can relate, pa.
Masa, you can relate very well. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Anyway, a quick one. Do you see the MPP after this mid-year review budget and current economic status? Do you see an MPP already on their way to opposition?
Thank you very much. Let me give greetings to your cherished listeners this morning.
That's right.
And you are not far from exactitude. The fact is clear. The nature and behavior of the MPP is a clear indication that they are not ready to govern this country. And people are beginning to see through the lies and deceits. For instance, if you look at this economy in which we are in now, and you have a finance minister who comes out to say we have turned the corner around, we are okay, then it seems as if they are not living in this country with us. They have stolen so much money, kept it in their rooms.
Well, minority leader said this budget have rather deepened the woes of Ghanaians.
I will soon take you through the details of the reason why he's saying that our woes have been deepened.
That's right.
And you will understand the circumstances. The situation in which we are at the moment is critical, is crucial. Yet we have a deceptive government that does not accept its faults, and they are still pampering and covering up the wound. And that is the difficulty in which we are at the moment. So, Charlie, the MPP as a political party, nobody wants to listen to hear the MPP again. The four more they talked about has become a what do you call it? A nightmare for Ghanaians.
Was it a political cliche or a gimmick?
It's a political gimmick. It was something that people did not see through. The MPP came to power, implemented free SHS, and used that one to win power. Deceived everybody. At the end, today, the free SHS itself has completely collapsed. National health insurance has collapsed. Everything under the AKUFO-ADDO has collapsed except the ability to create, loot, and keep.
Interesting.
Create, loot, and keep. That is what they are doing now.
Interestingly, those days, MPP, championed the cause of create, loot, and share slogan. And today, the tables are gradually turning. Anyway,
they are accusing the NDC of creating looting
that's
and
right.
sharing.
I remember by one of the Supreme Court judges.
Right now, they are creating, they are looting, and they keep it under their belt.
I like the concluding one. They keep it, right?
I'm telling you.
They are greedy, eh?
Very greedy.
Anyway, all right. So, Honorable, you agree with me that there are 2 major drivers of this economy: the macro and then the micro. Listening to, I have the full text of the media review read by the minister, the finance minister. He said, I want to take the item 29. He said, I will now proceed to update the House on the macro fiscal performance of the economy since December 2022. Mr. Speaker, we usually do. The 2023 budget was presented in November 2022 using end September 2022 data. We now have end December 2022 data, which include that overall real gross domestic product growth was 3.1% compared to the revised target of 3.7%. non-oil real GDP growth was 3.8% compared to the revised target of 4.3%. Honorable, you still don't think at least they've made some progress?
PAPALAW.
Yes, sir.
From the finance minister yesterday. Now listen to what he said. That he said they projected that the economy will grow by 2.8%.
That's right.
Listen, 2.8, not real.
2, yes.
2.8%. But he is sad to inform Ghanaians that target cannot be achieved.
1.5.
What the 2.8 cannot be done, so we are now targeting 1.5.
That's right.
Now that 1.5, the IMF proper economic indicators is suggesting Ghana cannot do beyond 1.2% growth.
That's the PPEG.
I'm telling you. Now, if a government projected that the economy will grow by 2.8%, and then unfortunately that same government comes out and say the economy will grow by 1.5%, what it means that the economy is contracting. There is no growth in the economy. The economy is declining. It will affect job creation in the country. What it means is that because of the economy is contracting, there will not be jobs opportunity for people to do. Should the finance minister tell you that he has turned the economy around? You see, look at this situation. Now, the same government talked about goods and services. This is the government that promised to cut government expenditure, and they projected to spend 4.1 billion.
That's right. Yes.
At the end of the year, at the half year, the government has already spent 4.7 billion. That means they have spent extra 6 billion in addition to what they projected they were not going to do.
That's right.
So the government, instead of cutting its budget and controlling expenditure, it's rather increasing its expenditure and causing limited growth in the economy. So what is wrong with this government? We have been thinking, what is wrong with this government? A government that promised the people we will do that, we will do this, and eventually ends up not doing. Now listen, the government was supposed to pay interest on domestic interest on bonds and loans and all other things. So the government programmed to pay 17.9 billion by half year. 17.9 billion by half of the year. The government could not pay the 17.9 billion that it's projected. It's paid only 14.3 billion. Now, what it means is that the government has not been able to pay, so the 3 billion that is in arrears to be paid on interest is what they are using to shore up the economy artificially. You were supposed to pay interest on loans, on bonds. And so you see, the bondholders have been picketing at the Ministry of Finance.
That's right.
So the government was supposed to pay them 17.9 billion cedis interest on their bonds and investment. The government has not been able to do that. Now the government paid only 14.3, leaving a 3.6 billion. Now that $3.6 billion has not been paid. It is in government coffers or it is somewhere. What it means that $3 billion is supposed to be in account. That is shoring up is stabilizing the inflation figures. Because the moment you pay that $3 billion, it will trigger inflation. See, this is a government that is making noise. This is a government. You make your own projections, you can't meet your own projections. And yet, this government will still come out and be making noise and talking about the situation in which we are now. Government, the economic conditions are dire. Boss, the situation is critical. The economy has been damaged beyond repairs. And where we are now, I cry for the NDC. You know why I cry for the NDC? I cry for the NDC and John Mahama because the cost of damage, the magnitude of the damage that has been caused, it is going to be very difficult to repair.
That's right.
Things are bad. Things are really, really bad. And I don't know what we can do. See, let me tell you something. The reasons why the government is unable to meet its revenue target is because the e-levy that they projected and talked about so much has failed. The e-levy has failed, so government is unable to meet its revenue target.
That's right.
Government projected to collect.
Meanwhile, there are other sources of funding that the government can initiate to receive more revenue than ever.
Thank you. Why? Is it not this country? Don't we have gold?
We have them.
Diamond, bauxite, manganese, oil,
lithium. Now we have lithium.
Don't we have all these things? Don't we have timber? Don't we have cocoa? When you go to Togo, they don't have any of this. They have only uranium.
They are making it.
Yet they are making it. And the growth rate in Togo is 4.3%. And Ghana is struggling to get 1.2%.
Amazing.
So what is wrong with this Ghana? Boss, the government projected to get 64.7%, which is 8.1% of GDP. 64.7%.
That's right.
8.1. Revenue. That is government revenue. The government, as at 31st July, has received 59.3 billion. 59.3 billion. That is 7.4%. That means that government revenue has declined. Yet, this same government is levying us for COVID. COVID levy. Have you forgotten that this government is charging sanitation levy?
That's right.
And charging COVID levy and charging e-levy. Yes, still.
And the sanitation money was under somebody's bed.
And the person was keeping it in her room. Master, so when you look at this government and you see the situation in which we are, and you ask yourself, where are we going to? Now, see, if a government says that the economy will grow by 1.3%, now look at some of the growth in other countries around us. Because if you talk about COVID or Russia-Ukraine war as the reason why you are not performing, we are not the only country in Africa that experienced COVID. So now let's look at the growth rate of other countries in the same year, 2023. So you look at Ivory Coast, the growth after COVID is 6.2%.
Amazing.
That is Cote d'Ivoire. We share border with them. Mauritius is 4.6%. Kenya is 5.3% growth this year. Rwanda, war-torn Rwanda, is 6.2%.
Amazing.
This year. Ethiopia is 6.1%.
Ethiopia.
Nigeria is 3.2% this year. Why is Ghana 1.3? Why is Ghana 1.3%? Why is Ghana's growth rate 1.3%? If the Ukrainian war and the COVID is affecting our countries, all the Togo, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, all of them around us have higher growth rates. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with Ghana? What can this damage be controlled? What is it? What is it that we have done wrong? What the wrong we have done is to have brought Nana AKUFO-ADDO as the president of the republic, and he appointed his brother as the finance minister, and he is incompetently managing the economy. Then he goes to Otumfuo to intervene in sacking Kenoforiata because his members of parliament, 92 members of parliament, wanted his head. So it was Otumfuo they went to see for Otumfuo to intervene.
This same minister says he's working for us free of charge. You are working for me free of charge, per adventure. and I'm saying I don't need your service, go. Why are you restricting or being adamant from moving?
That is pure common sense. Thank you for asking that question. A finance minister who claims that he doesn't take salary. We are asking you to go and retire, go and sleep, you rest. We are okay, you just go and rest. And he said no, he was not leaving. If you don't know, anytime he floats, we go for a bond. His banks are getting more than his 20 times his salary. The 1% and 1.5% that his banks have been getting, Data Bank has been getting from being our financial advisors. Anytime you are going for a loan, they are getting $2 to $3 billion in new transaction we do. And so, and his salary, how much is salary? His salary is 16,000. When you put all the benefits, clothing allowance and other things, he gets around 25,000 a month. If he doesn't take 25,000 a month, and we go for loans, and his bank gets $3 million, that is over 300% or 400% of his salary.
I'm telling
so
you.
What are you talking about? So that is why he does not want to leave. Honestly, the economy is in tatters. It has been damaged beyond repairs. And you know something?
Tell us.
Let me do here. We are talking about economy.
That's right.
And it is figures. But let me do a bit of politics to you here. Two notable figures: Ken Ejapon and Kobene Japon. Kobene Japon was a former general secretary of the NPP. He is today aspiring to lead the NPP.
That's right.
Ken Ejapon is a member of parliament. I think they're 40-year, 60-year. He has been in parliament for 60 years.
That's right.
He wants to be member. He want to be the flag bearer of the NPP.
That's right.
The two of them go around telling, including Alan Chiramantin, they are going around telling people that the NPP cannot go with the face of people who have destroyed the economy. I am not the one saying.
That's right.
The NPP cannot go into the next election, in election 2024, with the face of people who have destroyed the economy.
That's right.
People who are part of this government have damaged it. I am not the one saying it. It's Canada Japan and Kobene Japon. These are two notable figures within the NPP. And so if these people feel that when you bring Bawumia to the ticket, or you bring Alan to the ticket, they were part of the government and they're part of the mess. And therefore, the delegates should avoid selecting any of them. It tells you a story. The story is that the NPP itself admits that members and managers of the economy, Alan Chiramantin and Bawumia, who are members of the economic management team of this government, have failed. And that is why I am praying that any of them become the flag bearer of the NPP. The story is nice. I am saying that I've been saying, we just let Ghanaians know the kind of people we have selected and who led this country into where we are now.
That's right.
It is sad.
All
the
right.
situation is bad. The borrowing will not stop.
That's right.
And the borrowing and the interest on the rates is what is causing inflation in this country. And food inflation in this country is 54%. If you're a finance minister and food inflation is 54%, under John Mahama, the one they call incompetent, sadly called incompetent, food inflation was 9%. Under this finance minister, whose brother used that tag on John Mahama, boss, food inflation is 54% by Ghana Statistical Service. What does that mean? It means that anything that you used to buy as 10 cedis has multiplied to 20 cedis.
Yet MPP had a flagship program, planting for food and jobs.
Thank you, my brother.
Interesting.
That is how intelligent you are.
Honorable,
what kind of country is this?
That's right.
So situations. Now let me tell you something. I will take this one. Then I don't know what I'm debating with anybody. The person will come in.
No. Today we have an exclusive with you.
Now let me see.
I will do my last call, but you go ahead.
This government promised not to borrow from the domestic market. In the year 2023, finance minister in parliament said we will not borrow from the market. We will not borrow from the local market. That means that bonds and treasury bills, and we will not go and do we are not doing that.
I think he has retreated that point that they are not going. They are now done with the corner issues. So we are not going to borrow again.
Now, let me tell you what's happened. And what he read to us yesterday in Parliament. Government borrowed 5.5 billion without parliamentary approval.
Amazing.
From the domestic market. 5.5 billion. And the same government has estimated that the half of the year, July to December, the government estimates to borrow 41.3 billion.
Wow.
PAPALAW.
This is amazing.
The government said they will not borrow from the domestic market and ended up borrowing 5.5 billion. The same government is now projecting that half of the year remaining, they will go into the domestic market and borrow 41.3 billion. Now, when you do this, what it means is that in the year, the government would have borrowed 46.8 billion from the domestic market.
That's right.
Now, the 5 point. Now, let me give you a simple analogy. From the 5.5 billion they borrowed now, it has moved treasury bill from 14% to 23%.
That's too much.
That means the government will pay higher interest on domestic borrowings. So when you go and buy treasury bill, that used to be 9%. It is now 23%. So all the banks are giving their money to the finance minister as borrowing to government. And the government is paying 23% on it. Now, if the government goes to borrow more, the 41.3% they are talking about, what it means is that the rates we are paying on treasury bills by government will move to around 30 to 31%. Because currently standing at 23%, because we have borrowed 5.5 billion from the market. So you will then realize that government is doing paying higher interest on domestic borrowings because he needs the money to survive.
That's right.
And if he does not get the domestic borrowing, he's in trouble, or the government is in trouble. And so government is foolishly borrowing. And brother, if this is the situation in which we are in this economy, a government that has borrowed over $750 million already, and you know, Nana AKUFO-ADDO is the most luckiest president ever. From oil money alone, he has accrued 2.6 billion. 4 years of John Mahama, 1.2. We have gotten almost 1.2 billion dollars from oil revenue. John Mahama in 4 years, got only 250 million dollars.
Amazing.
4 years with all the infrastructure he did, all the projects he did, he got 250 million dollars. Nana AKUFO-ADDO has already gotten 1.2 billion dollars already. Yes, still. They are still borrowing at a faster rate.
And the country is still suffocating. Anyway, Honorable, I want us to wrap up with this one. Mid-year budget review. One of MPP's flagship program that the party actually touted themselves, or the government really touted themselves, is 1D, 1F. That is one district, one factory. And here is a report by the finance minister. He said 1D, 1F has created 160,000 direct and indirect jobs. More than 160,000 direct and indirect jobs have been created, especially for the youth who have been mobilized to establish agro-processing factories in 58 districts as part of the One District, One Factory initiative. Mr. Ken Oforiatta, the finance minister, said as of June 2023, 126 factories were operational nationwide, adding that in line with the government's unwavering commitment to industrialization, the implementation of the initiative was on course. The minister said this when he presented the 2023 mid-year budget statement and policy review to Parliament. Honorable, the government of the day believes that they've created 160,000 indirect and direct jobs. The big question some of the youth I know who are unemployed this morning shared with me is, where PAPALAW, where are the jobs and which 126 factories is this government talking about? Honorable, your take on this one, then we'll wrap up. Tomorrow we'll continue from where we left off.
Thank you. PAPALAW.
Yes, sir.
It's sad that we have a intellectually dishonest finance minister. And he is not alone to be blamed. The government is a deceptive government. A government that is made up of dishonest people. The NPP is gradually behaving as a criminal organization. And it is sad the way they are behaving. Boss, first and foremost, Kojo Apon Nkrumah came out and said the government did not promise to build factories. They promised to facilitate private sector growth. So they were going to help private companies to establish their own companies. So when you give a loan, when I give a loan to PAPALAW, for PAPALAW to set up a factory, does that factory become a property of Ghana or becomes a property of the individual?
That's a good question.
In any case, it has not even happened. Because the government has listed 17 defunct state-owned companies for sale. I'm speaking to you. The Ministry of Trade has listed 17 companies. The government calls them defunct. That means that they are not making profits. And the government wants to sell it. A government that says he has established 126 factories is selling 17. Now, where is the common sense? If a government will establish a new company, when there is an old company that is suffering that needs to be resuscitated, building a new company and resuscitating an old one, which one is better? Now, GIHOC, the Auditor General's report is that GIHOC alone has recruited 400%, has increased the workforce by 400%, and the company is collapsing. GIHOC, the company that was making profits under the administration of John Mahama, all of a sudden, GIHOC is headed by Master Kofi Juma.
Nakonta.
Thank you.
Senasio Senakonta.
He is the one heading GIHOC. And according to the Auditor General's report, instead of about 100 workers working in the place, they have put 400 workers there. 400%. And boss, if there are jobs in other places, why would you send 400 workers to GIHOC when the company is making a loss and the company is collapsing? Oh, why? Are you not aware the National Youth Employment has collapsed? Are you not aware the NAPCO has collapsed and that people's arrears salary has not been paid for 1 year, 6 months? And all the children have stopped working. Now come to Ghana Education Service. There were people who were recruited as marking of scripts when teachers teach. When they teach, then the class exercises by the children, somebody was supposed to mark it. And they were the educare from the NAPCO educare. I am telling you on authority, all of them have vacated posts.
Wow.
Because they were working for 6, 7, 8 months and they were not paid. There was nothing coming. So if NAPCO has collapsed, 100,000 jobs they said they created falsely, NAPCO has collapsed. If NAPCO has collapsed, and National Youth Employment created by Nana AKUFO-ADDO has collapsed, and National Health Insurance has collapsed, what is the government talking about? This government is a lying government. They are deceitful, and you will know. Listen, there are so many unemployed MPP boys. The MPP boys who you meet on radio communicating for government are unemployed. They are all graduates unemployed. So why have they not gotten jobs? Why are they struggling? So listen, this government is noted for deceit and lies, and nobody takes them serious. It is time for the Ghanaians. If we do not stop the rot in 2024, if you don't stop the rot by coming out and voting against Nana AKUFO-ADDO's administration and stop the rot, when you finish, PAPALAW, let me give you an assignment. I know you are a very intelligent young man. When you finish, go to Honorable Okudoto Ablakwa's website,
Okay.
or you can go to my Facebook wall.
Okay.
I have shared this, so the same link is there.
Okay.
And go and see the scandal Gabi Ochredakun has involved himself in. He is asking the Blue Gate company, the company that they terminated their contract and reinstated, to pay them 173.3 million Ghana cedis. It is a new scandal this morning. We'll talk about it when you read.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, my brother.
Bless you more. Have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
All right, so that was Honorable Dela Edem of the NDC's communication team. He's a team member speaking on the mid-year budget review read in Parliament, or presented in Parliament by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, the man in white. In fact, the competition of wearing white apparel is between the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, and Honorable Collins Dauda, Alaji Collins Dauda. All right, Mpɔtam morning show with PAPALAW Perfect. We have a few minutes to go, but before I go, David Santos,
Attorney General.
Honorable De La Casa.
Honorable De Sawanim.
Bakasa Papa.
Now, on Casa Swa, no fact.
You know why I called him, because some discussions and topics, you need people who speak with fact and figures.
Yes.
Not just economy.
Knowledge too is there.
That's right.
We'll explain it to you so that you have it clear.
All right, so your final submissions, and then we'll close the curtains on today's program.
Okay, Attorney,
yes, sir.
This government should, by this time, know that now Ghanaians know them as liars. So by this time, they should be working on solutions to clear the mess.
Liars, liars.
Yes. All the things that they've told us, we have not seen them.
If
physically.
Cote d'Ivoire's economy is growing at
It's
6
growing.
point something, and Ghana 1.2%.
Yes.
Togo,
The one that Honorable Dela mentioned to us, none of them fall to one. Not even the one that is in
below 2.
Yes.
Nobody.
But we,
Even Nigeria. When I say
Nigeria.
even Nigeria, the economy was in tatters.
Exactly.
Yet
Yes.
they are growing at a rate of 3 point something.
yes. And I tell you, this is a country that gained independence first. I tell you, this is the country that is full of honey, and we still have a group called Unemployment Graduate Association.
When people said they've abolished it because they've employed enough.
Is it true?
That's what they are saying.
No, I tell you, we are in the country together. Is it true that they are abolished it?
I haven't seen it anyway.
We have them. We still have them. A country that is flowing with honey. And we have group calling themselves the Unemployed Graduate Association in this country. And they still come back to tell us that we have employed this and that, and we have built factories here and that. But if you go there in somebody's factory, and banner akotale, and your factory create you, obi factory existing that are already operating, kwa no say say mu agasa mu nim dada ye be ye partnership na ye de ye banner ba. Enti mu de mu mbo we nim ho ma na mu pe cleaners be 3 bi na mu employing them e wo mu company na ye chiro se NDC omu di green book aba omu de omu yan green book bia obehu a na graphic anim omu si MPP for accredit job factory and omu employee be 1,000 people, which is all these things are lies. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Once I'm ending, since I came to this earth, I have never and ever seen a handsome mathematics teacher before. All of them look like algebraic expression.
One of the topics I never liked in mathematics. In fact, some mathematics or subject, when you bring it,
somebody talk there.
and it's a simultaneous linear equation substitution method. One method.
Now, what about the board mass?
All right, so at Senpai, this is where we draw the curtains on today's program. It's been a wonderful and educative and also informative program. Show produced by GH, my co-host David Santos. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for doing a great job. Thank you to every member of the team. God bless you. My one and only Nana, how are you doing? I need my pictures. My birthday pictures, the one I took at the party. I need them because I've employed and deployed all avenues. Those pictures are still not coming, so this is one of the biggest platforms.
So the shout out you are giving, I
need my pictures. Coded one. Nana, good morning. How are you doing? I believe you are bouncing well. Nana, but next on your radio, Kofi will come your way with Ghana and some Mac Black will come your way with Pillow Low Drive. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and above all, a wonderful month. Welcome to August, the month of newness. God bless you and keep you and protect you I came, I saw, I'm out.